Ebola martial law, part two. So this is a continuation of the Ebola martial law, part two. What we just talked about in section one was about the Thomas Eric Duncan, that he died. He's the first case of Ebola. And we kind of talked about in the beginning, within, I guess, 8 days, then he started getting sick. But like, 2 weeks later, then he dies. But it didn't really sound, like it was Ebola. It said all of a sudden, he was just vomiting, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. His family said that they don't believe it, and one of the other things that we're looking at is there's no closed circuit video of actual live footage of him being sick. So more than likely, this is government theater. Just like we've seen in 9/11 with the fake planes. And one of the things I noticed here in the article, because if you look at the article, you can pick up a lot of this secret society messages right here. So we're seeing this right here. It says, and any other signs of six. And this is symptoms. But this right here, I'm going to tell you, I've been studying this for a while, and it's become pretty clear to me that even though they say, what they want you to believe, it's inside code and it's something else. The only thing I could think of with six is this hidden cult that's running around kind of rampant, and they're letting people know if you didn't do Isis, which was the satanic baptism, and all those people are up for sacrifice to this Ebola, then, there's other people out there, I guess, that are possible, victims. So as we continue right up here, we're going to go to the next one, which is, this is the hospital right here, Texas Health Presbyterian. And this is inside of Dallas, Texas, and it says the hospital was unprepared for Ebola. So the protective gear the nurses wore, left their necks exposed. And right off the bat, when I see this, first of all, it's a Presbyterian. It's not a community hospital. It's not a general hospital. So immediately, as we've seen before, there's attack on religions. When they're attacking all religions, and they're selling, come to our religion, it just becomes a very obvious, tactic or ploy. And I think that people start to see, kind of a reoccurring message, and it's what I call, selling religion by fear, So right here, the Presbyterians, which are known for protests, and they're known for saying, during times when the government's corrupt, they're saying Presbyterians, which is totalitarians. So something to keep in mind. And right here, we start looking at the different things. It says, they're just selling fear right here. U.S. prepares for worse with Ebola. CDC really thinks, Fallout continues, nurse gets Ebola. So, this whole thing is saying fear, fear, fear. And then it says, Sanjay Gupta said that if the claims are true and startling, some of them, he said, could be important when it becomes to possible other infections. So they're saying immediately that they weren't prepared. And we need to talk to this lady. She's probably part of the problem. Rose Ann DeMauro. She's from the National Nurses United Executive Director, saying the protocols that should have been in place in Dallas were not in place. Those protocols are not in place anywhere in the United States as far as we can tell. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this hospital is doing everything that they can to save lives. It's a religious hospital. I don't believe it. I've seen before where they have officials that are selling the nonsense, and they're selling it to the public, blaming the people that they want to remove. And right here, it says there were no protocols. And the nurse says in the thing is that she was unclear. It kept changing. And I will point that out right now. Around their neck, nurses have exposed a lot of concern. There was no mandate for nurses to attend training. And that's not the hospital's fault. So here's the second part right here. This is the person that's saying Alcon worker being monitored for Ebola virus. So this is a worker that came in contact, and now they're monitoring him for Ebola virus. And it says a medical company worker was in contact with a nurse recently diagnosed with Ebola virus. I'd like to see the nurse. I'd like to see video on this nurse, and is being monitored for symptoms of the virus in the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital, according to the statement issued by the company. So, right here, right now, for anybody else who knows about the secret societies, about the Red Band Society, about the K Group, about the Dragons, about this Osiris, Isis, Luciferian, whatever names else they want to call it. Anybody who knows that, that's following all that, knows that Al Khan is a word to signal to all these other people. It's part of their message. It's part of their message. So anybody who's following this is saying Al Khan. Anybody who's part of this message they sold that you're going to live while we kill everybody else, or while we kill everybody else. They already know that this Al Khan, they're sending it to them. They're saying, this is what's going on. It's the key word for those who are the inside. They're saying, oh, okay. This is how they're selling it, but it's letting them know, between the group they're telling, you're going to make it, and the other group, unless they become a sacrifice, right? Because they like sacrificing their own. I mean, if you make a deal with the devil, he likes sacrificing his own, and they should be okay with that. But for all the people that are not, they're telling them, for all the others that we're going to kill, this is the secret message on the inside. And ALS, con means for or with. So, Antichrist Lucifer. So this has to do with that. And so the lady's name is Nina Pham. And we want to see, video of Nina Pham. To me, it just sounds like complete nonsense. I don't see any video of her. We're not seeing anything that's more conclusive. So there's something to pay attention to. Right here. This right here, if you watch YouTube, anybody who watches YouTube already knows about all these things, about how they're working right now. And, I'm one of them. I'm a YouTuber. I have a son. I think a lot of people that are kind of in one of those situations where they really haven't got up out of their chair. They're kind of, they're kind of more of reading about it and talking about it. And, I'm one of those who get up out of my chair too and is actively working on this. Maybe not like some of the talk I was telling people about that I'm hearing the word on the street, but as far as my son and stuff, we're up and we're out. We're just not just reading about it. I think anybody on YouTube knows about this conspiracy. I think we have enough evidence to see, that, Bush, all these guys, they've killed people and they continue to kill people. And that's what they're going to do because it's making money. They've signed a deal with the devil. And I guess they're all praying,